Okay, you brought up PBD. Awesome, Midra. We did the PBD podcast this morning. It was a home team podcast. It was an awesome episode. In PBD, we were talking about the Diddy situation, and he goes, oh, this video that came out with the Cassie thing. Now, this is from 2016.
Yeah.
How long do you think they've had this? What do you think is going on? We had the conversation about the feds know this. If they've had this video, what other videos are out there?
Yeah.
What other things are being held out there? And we've seen in political campaigns the slow drip of information that came out, like what they tried to do to Trump. Oh, we got the Access Hollywood tape. Grab him by the, oh, he's like, I don't give a shit. Teflon Don over here.
Yeah.
Most candidates would drop out when the Access Hollywood thing. Name another candidate that is married, running for president. The Access Hollywood thing comes out, gets more votes. Trump's a totally different beast. But what I'm getting at is, what other videos are out there that we don't know about? But there are videos out there that we do know about. So PBD made a great point. So I want to play you guys some videos. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but we can kind of go back and trace our steps in the past. And here's where I really want to get the ladies' perspective, especially with what you were talking about earlier. Cassie hasn't made a statement. We haven't heard anything about her, but the closest thing to a statement from Cassie is a statement from her husband. Cassie's remarried. I think they have 2 kids. And here's what he had to say. His name is Alex Fine. I think he's actually a male model, interesting enough. So here's his message to domestic abuse survivors and the abusers themselves. Let me know when you have that, Alejandra. Okay. So we're going to have to punch in. And Alejandra, if you can read that, you can read it. Can you see it on your end?
Yes, I can see it.
Go ahead, read it.
Letter to women and children. Men who hit women aren't men. Men who enable it and protect those people aren't men. As men, violence against women shouldn't be inevitable. Check your brothers, your friends, and your family. Our daughters, sisters, and mothers and wives should be protected and loved. Hold the woman in your life with the utmost regard. Men who hurt women hate women. To all the survivors, find the men and women who help and love. To all the survivors, your stories are real and people believe you. To all the survivors, you are not alone, and there are men and women who care only for your well-being and safety. We want you to succeed and flourish. To all the women and children, I'm sorry you live in a world where you are not protected and you don't feel equal. I want to raise my daughters in a world where they are safe and loved. To the abusers, you are done. You are not safe anymore. You are not protected anymore. The men by your side are just as weak. You are so miserable with yourself, and that, well, I don't understand that.
Okay.
Would be considered as kindness.
So, by the way, can we show a picture of her and her family and the kids? I believe that was in
we have
there.
it.
I want you guys to get some
here.
perspective of where they are now. Go ahead. That's her and her new guy.
Wow.
And I believe there's multiple pictures with the family. If we can push down a little bit. That is one of her kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. That's what looks like to be a happy family.
Yeah.
2 young daughters, it would seem, under 4 or 5 years old, I would assume.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So there's this dude. So they look happy. And there they are together. So again, she didn't make a statement, but believe me, he's not making a statement about abuse and everything that happened without her blessing. So ladies, this is where I want to understand where you're coming from. You talked about why you would stay with a guy like this. Why would Cassie stay with Diddy like this? We actually have some videos of what Cassie said when she was still with Diddy. Now that she's with this guy, and he wrote this, what's your interpretation? Dina, let's start with you and let's go down the line here.
So I kind of want to go back to something that you asked before.
Yep.
Which was, what's the hardest thing after you... after you go through something like that. And I think the hardest thing is learning to trust yourself again. And the reason why I say that is because, again, you're stuck in an environment where someone's constantly feeding you something in your brain. So that becomes the propaganda, that becomes the narrative that you tell yourself. So you start to believe that you're not important, or that you're not special, or that nobody cares what happens to you, because you believe it. It's ingrained in your brain for years and years and years and years. So I think that's the hardest part, is to be able to trust yourself. And even her now, being in a happy relationship and having beautiful daughters, every day of her life she'll still be scared because she has daughters. So that will forever replay in her brain. And when her babies get older and they're out there and they're dating, she'll be terrified all the time. You know? So I think, to kind of circle back to what you're saying, it's just a very difficult situation, even when you are happy again, because it's hard to trust that happy version of yourself, because you've been instilled in your brain for such a long time that you're not worthy of these things, you know? So when you start to see that you're getting them, even as Maria mentioned, you'll push them away, because you'll be like, this is not for me. I'm not, you know, I'm not worth this, or I'm not, whatever the case may be. And in Cassie's situation, I actually do believe that she, you know, is very lucky that she met her husband when she met him, because I don't think she would be here, if we're being completely honest.
Really? You think it could have got that ugly?
I do.
Oh, man. Well, I think we're all happy to where she is now. And thank you for sharing, Maria. You know, you started this little tearjerker situation, so let's just get it out. When you saw that statement and everything you said, you talked about the loving of the boyfriend, and you thought you can change the guy. How do you process what's going on here?
Well, first off, I think God is, it's just like a statement for women to know that God will think about you all the time, and He'll be there for you. He probably put that situation in your life for some reason, so you have to learn, so you have to be stronger. But God's gonna bless you with someone like that, like him. He seems to be amazing. If he says that type of a statement like you said, it's because probably she approved it before, obviously. And it takes a lot. Sometimes for all the women that been through all of that type of situations, we think there is not men that is going to be awesome with you. We lose the faith too. And we don't want to we don't want to fall in love again. But the most important thing is to fall in love with yourself first, and fall in love with God, and He will put the right person in front of you. There is so many people in the world, and it takes just one person to be on your way, to be happy, to respect you, to love you, and appreciate you for who you are. But everything starts from you. You have to believe in yourself. You have to respect yourself. You have to honor yourself in order for you to be worth of what you want in your life.
Well, if I could, I'd give you a big hug right now. You know what? I'm going to give you a hug. Fuck this. Come on, girl. That's my girl. And Dana, I owe you a hug.
It's all right.
Thank you guys for sharing this. Look, it's not easy. And I'm going to tell you a story of what I dealt with, actually. But we can kind of go. I feel like we're doing a little intervention here right now. Now, you good?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is just proof when you allow the wrong man to lead you. You know, we're
Prime example.
Let the man lead. Let them show you where to go. And when you see that you finally put trust in a man, you know, you have this idea like he's going to lead me to where I have to go. And when they start to lead you and they start to do the things that abuse you, you're like, okay, he's leading me. I trust him. And then next thing you know, it can go south. And that's why you have something like the Me Too movement, where it can go so south, where people just use it to their advantage.
Yeah.
And it devalues the actual women who get their asses whooped. You know, it's very sad to see, and it takes something like this, somebody with so much power. Cassie, beautiful. Look how instantly she left Diddy, found this guy, kids right away. She's been with
Married
Diddy
right
for
away,
years.
kids
Married with
growing,
kids. And instantly
everything.
she found somebody, had kids, and now look at the life she's living. And props to her for being so classy with how she's dealing with this. Such a representation for her kids. This is not a place where you go and you tell women and you expose them and it's for a check. It's a genuine cry for help. And I think this situation is a learning lesson for all men and for all women. Women, don't cry wolf if there's no wolf. Men, behave, because these things are meant to have consequences behind it. So I would love to see the consequences behind it. You see his video, I want to take full responsibility. Go to jail.
Yeah.
Well,
Go to jail.
100%.
Let's
Yeah.
see. You want to take responsibility? You do the time to represent. You want to take the responsibility.
You can't do
Yeah.
the time, don't do the crime. But
Right.
whatever happened in that video, disgusting. It's past the statute of limitations, but there are new allegations. So when there's smoke, there's fire, and there's more stuff that's going to come. Whoa, whoa, whoa. If you like that one, click right here to watch the full SOSCAST. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.